Washington won its first conference outright title since 1953, but will their postseason run end after one game against one of the hottest teams entering the NCAA tournament, that being Mississippi State? Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com. Glad to be with you on the NCAA tournament previews presented by Brother Printers. Let's bring in CBS Sports' Greg Anthony to break this down. And Greg, when you look at Washington and Mississippi State, what do you see as some of the key matchups?
Well, I think the key matchup is going to be the interior in terms of how it's played in the paint. Jarvis Varnado is one of the most unique talents we have in college basketball, right on level, I think, with Hasheem Thabeet in terms of his impact on the interior. And you know about the great player John Brockman all season long for the Pac-10 champs. And I think it's going to be interesting how Coach Lorenzo Romar, and congrats to him, by the way, on an amazing season, how he figures out a way to attack on the interior. Remember, Washington, one of their great strengths has been their ability to dominate the backboard, +8 in rebound margin. I don't know that they're going to have that kind of an advantage in this game, and ultimately that could affect them in terms of how they play.
Greg, how tough is it as a former floor general yourself when you enter the NCAA tournament with a freshman point guard on both sides of the ball in Isaiah Thomas and D. Bost?
Well, it's difficult, but not when they're talented. And both these young men have great talent and really have progressed. You know, when you talk about Isaiah Thomas, he hit the ground running in the very beginning, but D. Bost has kind of come on here of late. And I think Mississippi State's one of those teams. They figured out who they are finally over the last month of the season, and that's why you've seen them play such good basketball, knocking off LSU, Tennessee, and South Carolina to get that automatic qualifier. But if you're Lorenzo Romar, I think you take Isaiah Thomas up against any other point guard in the country. He's got a good feel for how they play offensively. He makes good decisions out on the floor, and we obviously know he can score the basketball.
When you have a guy in the paint like Jarvis Varnado, if you're Lorenzo Romar, are you attacking the paint because you have guards that penetrate, or are you trying to get a lot of what you're doing on the perimeter?
Well, I think you want to try to stay with your own game plan and then try to adjust accordingly. That's the problem, though. It's very difficult in a single game elimination to make adjustments and then have your guys trust it. And I think that's going to be a big concern for here because he's not seen a guy like Varnado, and I think he creates unique problems out there on the floor.
All right, Greg, who do you like to win this game, the 4 seed or the 13 seed?
Well, this is my upset special of March Madness right here. I'm going to go with Mississippi State, although I love Washington's team. But the fact that Washington defensively at times struggle, and Mississippi State, if they shoot the three well, I think they pull the upset.
All right, we'll see if it all plays out. Rick Stansberry taking his 6th team at Mississippi State to the NCAA tournament. Greg Anthony, thank you very much, sir.
All right, Jason.
And, folks, of course, you can see Greg on CBS all throughout the tournament in studio with Greg Gumbel and Seth Davis. And don't forget, March Madness On Demand is back as well, from the first tip of the first round to the championship game. Every single game live online for free. Go to NCAA.com to find out more. For Greg Anthony, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.